Hello YouTube, we are checking out another deck today. This is a standard deck, Golgari Ramp. Now what are we ramping into? We are ramping into Garruk Cursed Huntsman. That is the star of the deck, a way you can just take over a game, and we're looking to do that quicker with Cultivates, with Solemn Simulacrums, Binding of the Old Gods, ways to ramp us into that 6 CMC faster. Now we're also running some board wipes in this deck, ways to kind of equalize and stall, get rid of those aggro decks. Extinction Event, Blood on the Snow. Blood on the Snow, great combo with our Snow mana base, another key point of this deck, because if you pay 6 for it and it's all snow, then you get to get a creature or a planeswalker 6 CMC back from the graveyard, and Garruk does count. Now we also are running Maze My Tomes to use our extra mana that we're ramping with. There's also Duress and Wolf Strider. We can recur from the graveyard, we can escape it. Now sideboard, we have Bloodjuice Thirst for aggro, Elspeth's Nightmare for more Naya or larger creatures, Witch's Vengeance, good board wipe, Barrier Breach, Sultai Ultimatum, Esper Doom, and then we have Serolf, again, board wipe effects. Can also be a decent thing to get back with Blood on the Snow. So there you go, that's the deck. Let's check it out. Opponent mulligan once. We have a T2 play. We have the Tome. We can foretell Poison the Cup. They're on Giganta, so they might be on Naya Nonsense, I like to call it. We don't get a Forest, which we really love to get, so we can play Cultivate, but I think just having the Tome, and like I said, we have the Cup for removal as well. I think that'll be pretty effective. Though, of course, this is Naya Nonsense. They're going to have Toski, and that's going to be indestructible, so we'll see. Okay, well, they have potential for Naya colors. We draw another land. We just don't have the Tome here. They could run out Toski a turn early because they have that Tangled Florahedron. If they do that, I'd be maybe tempted to even just poison the cup. Okay, well, they get a tap land, so they can't do that this turn. I'm sure they could do something else nasty and mean. Clarion Spirit. That's something I'd probably kill, but we'll see if they get a token off of it with the Florahedron. See if they want to play a 1-drop. Practice Fable Passage now. I'm not sure what they're going for. I mean, I'm expecting like a Heartless or a Heart's Desire. They attack? Okay, nothing like that. So here I think we do just snipe the Spirit. Getting 4th land does mean we can just play Solemn on T4. And I think I am about that. And we can get a forest that way. We just snipe their Spirit. That's probably a big part of their deck, I have to imagine. Now, how are we going to deal with Toski? Probably have to put in the -3/-3 board wipe in the sideboard. I'm skipping, or I'm missing the name right now, but what is it? Crippling Fear? Might be Crippling Fear. We'll just scry here, see if we can't find something, but Maze My Tome, that's probably fine. More card advantage. We'll just run out the Solemn and get in a Forest. Opponent cracking their Fabled, so they might have more lands in hand. I mean, to be fair, playing, or they're getting Giganta to your hand is pretty boring, pretty low impact play. So I'm pretty much about it though, right? Because if we just play Garruk -3, kill their Giganta, if that's like their whole turn doing something, that's going to be pretty good for me. We do just make sure we get land number 6, but okay, they're going for Showdown. Going for Showdown, okay. 2 lands, a Lovestreak Beast. They play a land, the Heart's Desire. Okay, there it is. I think we will try to get that next land. Well, okay, we'll put an upheave stop so we can have another shot if we don't find land number 6. But okay, we find it. It's even green, so it's kind of the color we want. So that works out well. Play Garruk. I'm gonna see what else we could try to get into here. Blood on the Snow could be impactful, right? They're gonna have the Saga tick up, right? Whenever they cast a spell, they get a counter on something for the next 2 turns. So I kind of just want to be careful of that. I don't have a Goldspan Dragon yet, but I guess they could try to find one. Or they could potentially play one off of these lands here. They'd have the resources at least. We can sack the Tome for 4 life at instant speed. They need a 3 doublings, I want to say. So they would play the dragon, cast a doubling, it would get a counter, they go to 10. I guess I'd only need 2 Unleash Furies to wipe me out. Only, but what they go for here. 3 mystery cards and Gigantha. They can't play this land because they already played a land this turn. That's just a dead card. I think, right? I don't think they played a land this turn. Trying to think. They just play Giant Killer. Now they have 5 mana, they could play Gigantha. Play Love Struck Beast. Now we have to be somewhat careful. Then Kabir takedown, Garruk. That's something. So now we really need Blood on the Snow or we're gonna die. Scry with the Tome. Try to find that Blood on the Snow. Find Binding. They're running low on spells. Could Binding and then play Maze Mind Tome. Get some more scrying going. That's probably good enough. Giant Killer's gonna let them tap down something of mine. The Love Struck does have the bonus of having more power, so it'd be easier to fling at me, but I think we just take the Giant Killer. It's gonna make defending easier. Let's hold back on defense here. I do wonder if this deck should be playing Ugin. It is in fact not playing it, and I wonder if it should be. At least in this matchup, it would be pretty good. Maybe I guess it would be bad against Sultai Ultimatum. Easy to counter or just to get killed before you get to cast it. Okay, opponent plays Showdown. Buff their 4/4 human soldier. Okay, they attack here. They're gonna scry. See what we see. They're binding. Hmm. We do have Woe Strider we can use too to stall further. So I think we actually take binding. We block, or we triple block the beast. Could double power, I guess. That's what we risk, but better that than dying. Oh, they have a stomp. Okay. Gonna put a stop on upkeep again. Now we're getting in a bit of a trickier spot. We'll scry with the trigger. The Woe Strider. Double Woe Strider. Not terrible. Pretty good at stalling. I'll grab a forest, I guess a chasm. Another stop on upkeep. I don't know about getting anywhere, but we're seemingly treading water. We find a board wipe. So there's 4 and 43 cards. We have a couple of scries, 3 at least. We only have 2 cards in hand too, so their options in terms of like killing me are gonna be tough. We'll know if they can double twice, if they can do 2 Unleashed Furies, if they get a second red source, right? Right now they're only on 1. So I was saying we have at least some hope, I think, of stalling long enough to win. Doing like this, sack 1. Another binding. So if we get rid of their 1/1s, they can't attack with their beasts. I can't do 2 bindings in the turn though. Only have 7 mana, not 8. I think we bought him. We just gotta find a board wipe. We are. There we go. There we go. That's what we wanted. That is what we wanted. They don't run out Gigantha. Interesting. Interesting. Indeed. We even get back a Rook, right? Nice. Alright, we get back a Rook. Start making some wolves. Have to be careful of dragons and then one-shotting us, but they don't have 2 red yet, so can't quite do that. Play Heart's Desire, okay. Probably gonna binding that. On the play up Gigantha, okay. I guess we will just scry here. There's Solemn. What else could we get? Extinction Event. Poison could be okay. Yeah, I think we'll bottom Solemn here. Get another Garruk. Okay. Either -3 Garruk, kill Gigantha, attack for 4. We're binding. I guess we can -3 Garruk, kill Gigantha, attack with Haven, swing for 8, get them to 4. They have the potential for 2 blockers next turn that we know about with these adventure creatures. We kill one of them with binding, and we wouldn't have enough mana to animate Haven. We could cultivate. We -3 Garruk, cultivate, set up for next turn, getting 3 attackers through potentially. I'll snipe Gigantha. Extinction Event. Okay, tokens are even. That's going to be nice. We animate the Haven. Swing 8 at them. They might just block the Haven here. Oh, they opt not to. Interesting. Can I die from this 1/1? I don't see how I could. I think it's impossible. Let's get some lands here. Okay. You also have the tome to gain 4 life, so that has a really good hand here, like Scald into nonsense. But even then, they would have no mana to use whenever they drew with Scald. I think we just got it here. Is the next turn we just Extinction Event, choosing Odd, and then swing in with 4/4 or 2/2 for get there. Opponent not playing out Bone Crusher. We're gonna sack the tome though, nevertheless, just play it safe. Use the mana I have, need to keep it up. Another Blood in the Snow. So what we can do is play the Swamp. Play Binding. Kill Lovestruck. Animate Haven, attack. Guess I probably should have plus Garruk first. But they're going to spend a turn stomping Garruk, then we win. Oh, they have a chop down? Okay. They bought themselves a turn, it would seem. Oh, they only have 1 card left in their hand. Toski, okay, so they're playing Toski. And they play a Giant Killer. Still isn't going to cut it. We have 4 attackers. We have 2 blockers. Okay, so we get game 1. Okay. Now sideboarding. I think, like I said, we're going to want, what is it? Witch's Vengeance. I thought it was a Crippling Fear, but I guess this one is the cheaper version that only targets specific creature types. I think it would take out Duress. I mean, the best thing we could hit is their showdowns, but which I guess is pretty good. I think just Seraph, though, and Witch's Vengeance are going to be better. Elspeth's Nightmare could be good, too. I don't care about the graveyard much. The 3rd chapter is pretty much irrelevant. They do have a lot of 2-power creatures, and we could snipe their showdowns, but then again, this is going to be landing on T3, on my T3, and then they would get to, you know, have their turn 4 before we even get to our 2nd chapter, so we wouldn't get to do this on the draw guaranteed. They'd have a chance to play a showdown. And they'd know to play it because they say, hey, look, I'm going to lose it next turn. That's not as great. Could consider being a bit more reactive too and just playing more Bloodchief's Thirsts. I mean, we do have the Poison the Cup. Well, I guess a lot of their stuff was 1 or 2 CMC. Their Clarion Spirits. Their Adventure stuff is 3 CMC though, so Poison the Cup hits that. Whereas I'd have to kick Bloodchief's Thirst. Yeah, I think we're fairly well positioned already. But adding in Seraph, I think, is going to be nice. It even gets the counter when they sacrifice their sagas too, which would be beneficial. A 2 Faceless Save in hand, I think, is not keepable. This does seem keepable. Something like a Solemn here. Tomes can at least keep us alive until we can just Blood on the Snow. I guess Solemn would have Helped me get there quicker. Witch's Vengeance, that's something. Have to watch those creature types carefully. So Clarion Spirit is obviously a spirit. Toski is a god. Human, peasant. Okay. Might just run out Giant Killer. I play Kabira Plateau. And then another one. Hey, well, we need to find that third land, and if we do, we can punish them for doing this pretty hard. Put a stop on upkeep. It's always good practice. We're desperately searching for something. So opponent has access to a number of mana, but okay, they play out their Giant Killer to draw 2 cards. Understandable. Pretty good play. We play another adventure creature with the Sentinel mana. Yep, I just run out the Love Struck. They're refilling their hand. Hopefully we can just clear all their 1/1s though. Okay, give me a land. No. See it. See land number 3. No, come on, land. Oh. Let's just go next. That's not going to be something I can recover from. Now I'm tempted to bring in Blood Chief's Thirst. Let's take out an Extinction Event, put in a Blood Chief's Thirst. And the more I think about it too, the Vengeance may be a bit dicey. They had a lot of humans that game. Yeah, they do play a lot of just varied types, it seems. So maybe we just keep an Extinction Event. Maybe on the draw, or on the player that we put in the Nightmare. Kind of like that. One lander, can't keep it. This is better. This is better. Okay, opponent mulligan once, that's good for us. What do we send back? We just send back Garruk, but that's like our top end, but we can kind of cultivate into. We can send back Tome, but that's a good 2-drop. Send back Garruk, the most expensive thing. We're reading 4. So, I guess Cultivate's kind of bad if you don't have Garruk or something to ramp into, huh? I'll try putting Garruk back. Could be the wrong choice, but it is the most expensive card. These other things are going to have value. We can use the Tome to find more answers. We can use the Cultivate to play a bunch of mana, or have a bunch of mana available. The Nightmare can help slow them down, pick off some of their card advantage stuff. But yeah, let me know what you would pick there. That's a tough one for me anyway. Sir Rolf is actually fantastic here. So the question is, do we run out Sir Rolf next turn and then Nightmare? So we would get the token off of Sir Rolf, or we get the token onto Sir Rolf rather, if we were to do that. Opponent plays the Clarion Spirit. Let's see if they have another 1-drop to follow up. Heart's Desire, sure. And a Binding. Okay. So I guess they can't cast Husky next turn. I think we just run out the Sir Rolf. We threaten to just wipe their board. I guess we have to be careful of chop down. Put a counter on Sorrel if it enters into being able to be chopped down. Also have to see what they do here. We block anything that could potentially stomp Sorrel instead if they keep Whisper Sentinel up. A Gem Razor, okay. Scry with it, I guess. Their land. Yeah, it's gonna let us binding. They have fabled. Play Chasm. Play the Nightmare. You could target the 1/1, but that would prevent us or protect us from their Love Struck. I think the real pick though is Clarion or Sentinel. Sentinel can let them play a 4-drop like a Showdown next turn. They had them drop number 4, they probably wouldn't have played Fable Passage. Clarion or Sentinel? Clarion or Sentinel? I guess we Clarion. Serulf can Serulf can wipe out the 1-drops next turn if we remove a counter. And if they spend their turn chopping Serulf down, then we can just binding their Gem Razor. And we'll even get to peek at their hand. Take out like a Showdown. So this doesn't look too bad. We need to find, I don't know, more answers. Okay, they Serulf, or they crack their Fabled. Grabbing the land now. They must not have land drop number 4. I guess with that in mind, maybe I should have just taken the Sentinel, because they wouldn't have been able to double spell, probably. Their spirit wouldn't have been as good. It's really going to come down to if they have a Showdown in hand. If they have one, then what should have picked the Sentinel. If they don't, then I think my play was okay. Innkeeper. Okay. They played the Love Struck. But at 11, we get to see what they have though. I want to remove 2 counters. I think we do. Makes Love Struck not be able to attack. Another Innkeeper, a Spirit, and a Bone Crusher. Be binding the Gem Razor. I'm gonna get to attack me next turn, but it's okay. We can't really stop it. But if they do play out their 1-drop, their Innkeeper, we can use Serulf's ability again. Get rid of it. They're limited on mana, so that's still good for me. Could hit me for 5, stomp me, and play out their Innkeeper. Okay, they just run out the Bone Crusher. Sure. I will decline. Mazemind Tome. Get a Chasm. So we could cultivate, then play a Mazemind. We could just play out Solemn. Do a chump block. My creature's next turn are going to get Death Touch. But if I do this, I'm going to open myself to taking 9 damage, going to 2. Doesn't seem particularly great either. I think let's run out the Solemn now. Probably chump their Love Struck. Okay, so they play the Innkeeper. Yep, that's what we knew about. Means their Love Struck can attack. And they do. Block there, go to 7. That means that next turn we'd be dead on board. Because they can play the Spirit this turn and then swing for 7, even if we block the Beast. We do draw a card. Ugh. I guess we're not dead on board because we can remove the Serulf counter and make it so that their Love Struck can't attack. And another Serulf. Take action, yes. Another Binding. So we cultivate, get a land, play Binding. It didn't play out Clarion Spirit. Might be setting up for like a 1-drop. I think we just take the Beasts. It's a safer play. They could just be playing around Serulf there, but I think taking out the 5/5 is just wiser. Here we can trade Serulf off for their Bone Crusher. Another land. Like Clarion. Play another one. Okay. Blood on the Snow. That is going to be good. And we can even Maze Mind Tome. Yeah, it's going to be good. We can get Serulf back. Left with 4 mana. They have a showdown. Okay. Still a game, I guess. Another showdown off their showdown. No lands, though. I guess they have Kabir Takedown they can play as a land. Or the Florahedron. Play the Florahedron. Bottom another land. We'll just use the mana that I have to draw instead of anything else. Swing 3 at my opponent. Could draw Garruk or something. Cultivate. Tons of mana. Not much to do with it right now, sadly. This is their last turn to play their showdown that's in the exile zone. They could play like your Spirit Sentinel showdown and then play the land from Kabir Takedown. All comes down to this, what we can find off of the Maze Mind Tome. Okay, Clarion Spirit, Retreat. Garruk. That is what I needed. I guess we draw a card first. I cultivate. Could do that, but I don't know if it's the best play. You have two mystery cards where it's 7 life. Maybe a Spirit Sentinel. I think playing Garruk minus 3ing their Sentinel is a good play. You buff up Serolf, make it so that we can get rid of all their tokens. Getting Bloodchief's is nice too. And hit them for 4. Play Cultivate. We're gonna get another counter on Serolf, so we actually can get rid of all their 2-drops too. Meaning we can get rid of the Clarion Spirit on upkeep. Clarion Spirit. They could potentially they could potentially Kazul's Fury me here. I think, right? If they have they play Sentinel, they get 2 counters onto their Spirit. It's a 4/4. I guess they would have to have a 1-mana 1-drop that they could do. And even then, they'd only deal 6 damage with the Spirit if they Kazul's Furied it. It would be sacrificed as part of the cost, so it wouldn't get the counters from the Fury. I think we can survive this turn. Play Sentinel. I retreat. Want to remove them? I think so, yeah, right? I should have done a stop on upkeep. Lost 4 life like that. Dang. Whoops. Potentially game losing, but we'll see, I guess. Redain, okay. Might be a bit late. Innkeeper. What else they got? They land. Okay, so they get some more tokens. I guess they actually did put the counters onto Redain. Get Giganta. Decline here. We don't want to get rid of our wolves. So we kick the Bloodchief's Thirst, kill Redain. Crack their lands so they can live. They probably just block a wolf and Serolf. Oh, they're gonna give me a card. That doesn't seem right. Gotta block Serolf. There you go. Okay. guess they do have to be careful of giving Garruk another counter because it can kill things. They don't really need mana. Good than the deck a bit, I guess. Only 9 lands left. Get the last couple basics. Yes! A slog! Great games for my opponent. My opponent goes first, but this hand looks pretty good. Tome, Poison, Binding, and Garruk. So we're playing against mono white, I had to guess. Don't know many other decks playing snow planes these days. I still think we're fairly well equipped to deal with them. Yeah, Hallowed Blade might be tricky to deal with. So if we run up the Maze Mind Tome, we potentially open ourselves up to being apparitioned. I think we just foretell the cup here. We also have 3 Garruks in hand. That's something. I guess that's the risk of running a 4 of Planeswalker with the cost 6. You could draw many copies of it. Okay, opponent Aspirants. With the counter to Hallowblade, sure. Play a Chasm, pass. They have something they can do, it seems like. I guess they have the Hallowblade ability. They can always discard to give it indestructible or what have you. See what they choose to do here with their 4 mana. Legion Angel. Okay, that's a good one. I guess I should have just killed the Aspirant before they put the counter on it. It's whatever. They probably have at least one more. Those. I mean, really need like Extinction Event or something to get rid of their board. Gonna be tough. They have an Apparition for the Binding. Probably fine, actually. If they want to give me a 4/4, that's okay. Play another Aspirant. Okay. Really gonna need that board wipe. We need it fast. Like we're dead next turn, right? So we need to draw it now. That is a board wipe. Right on time. Okay, we still have a game. They could animate Haven and get me to 1, so it might not be much of a game, actually. See what they do here. I guess if we draw land, we can Garruk kill their Apparition. We get a 4/4 blocker. And we could potentially stall. I guess if they have any other play, we are dead. They have another Hallowblade. Solemn. Yeah, we're just dead. We gave it a good shot, though. He hung in there. Okay. The Seraph is going to be vulnerable to getting Apparition, so it's not going to be as good as the last matchup. Witch's Vengeance could be good, though. We can choose like humans and get rid of their Hallowblades and their Aspirants. What else isn't going to be good here? The rest is probably not so great against mono white aggro. We just Bloodchief's Thirst for their Aspirants. I think I'll probably side in some more Bloodchief's Thirst on the draw. I feel like it's going to be what I need to do to slow them down. play first this time. We have the Vengeance. That's nice. Can't play it. Can't guarantee we can play Solemn. Maybe I should have kept his hand. But the Vengeance, I don't know. I'm just hopeful that that's going to be the saving grace here. They get a Snook over Plains to start things off. Selfless Savior. E1. Okay, well, we get a 2-drop. That's very nice. Very nice indeed. I think we'll probably just scry with it. Try to find that subsequent swamp. Poison the Cup. We could play like Redain on 2-3 or something. But I guess you really do need to prioritize getting that next land drop. So I think we're going to bottom poison. We have Vengeance. We have the Vengeance for a reason. Not that desperate yet, so let's take the land. Pass. Could even just draw with the tome if we want. Opponent, I guess, could also... Oh, they play Archon of Emeria. They cast... Okay. Non-basic lands. These are basics. We'll draw a card, and then we have the upkeep stop in case we don't get a land off this draw. Okay, we get another land. That's nice. We play a land, play Solemn. I guess... If we binding the Archon, they're just going to sack Selfless Savior to protect it, which saves the damage. I think we just start out Solemn here. Getting another swamp, I guess. We do seem to have a lot of double black right now. Do a Blood in the Snow as well. I've kind of been ignoring that. But it could be an alternate play to Garruk. Or we could Garruk get some tokens, then Blood in the Snow. Not a terrible play either. Get the Animate Haven here. Okay, they opt not to. Just attack me with the Archon for 2. That's fine. Worse things have happened. They play a Hallowed Blade. Okay. Do we get land number 6? Eric starts with 5 loyalty. We try to bait them into playing an Aspirant and then -3, get the Aspirant and the Hallowed Blade. Yeah, I'm okay with running out Garruk here. Get some chumps, get some blockers. I guess one thing they could do is like maul the Skyclaves and kill Garruk. It'd be pretty rude, but what can you do? I wonder if they sided in the Archon. I feel like it's not particularly good against me. We cast one big spell a turn usually, and we're happy to do it. They have bigger impact spells, it would seem. Although they do have mana sinks that they can use. They can play a cheap spell, then pump Haven, or rather Animate Haven, something like that. Okay, they had them all. Okay. Patch it to the Hallowed Blade. Swing at Garruk. can't play another spell. Want to tap the tome? I don't think so. Play a land. What spell do you want to cast this turn? Binding to kill them all. Witch's Vengeance to kill the Hallowblade. I guess we'll send with the Solemn and the 2/2. Plan to block their Hallowblade with the Wolf, or at least threaten to. Then play Binding, snipe them all. Pass the turn, we draw with Tome. They're still limited to one spell a turn. We could, I guess, just play Blood in the Stone, get Garruk back. Though I'd want to get rid of Archon first so they can't just swing flying damage at Garruk again. Prefer if that didn't happen. I want to thinking. They have a decent number of cards in their hands. So they probably have a lot of options, and it is tricky when their spells may be expensive, or rather, maybe cheap. They play Valkymira, preventing 1 damage, making stuff of mine that targets theirs cost more. Using 2. That's an interesting attack. Gonna prevent 1 of the damage. They're gonna have to still discard a card or sack their savior to get through. They pitch a card. Sure. Draw. For the turn. Get a forest. Poison the cup. Okay, something we can do on their turn. Just get a chasm. Play a land. Foretell poison, and I guess we can't foretell poison and play Solemn. We could just play Solemn. Oh, no, we can, right? We can. It's trying to be the cost to play it, not to foretell it. I guess we can't because it's going to cost us 1 extra mana because of the shield. Don't want to walk into that play. That's a bad one. Could have said Witch's Vengeance, foretell, and then cast with the attacks. Of calls. And get rid of their Hellblade. Big thing I'm worried about right now. can foretell this. I guess we attack. They're gonna hit us for 1. We can just hold back the wolf. Normally I would just hold back both, but because of the shield, it means that we would only deal 2 damage because both of our 2s would be only dealing 1. I guess next turn we do get Death Touch. That's not going to be prevented by their damage reduction effect. Like Last Casket taking away the wolf. Okay. Animate a Haven, sure. Don't think it matters if them attack, so we'll just try to kill their Faceless Haven. Get the extra 1. Nice sack. You pay the 1. We bottom the Chasm. I think we're okay taking the Tome. Because we can play it next turn in addition to Garruk. Once we Blood on the Snow, of course. So we go to combat. My opponent for 2. Is it the under turn? Yeah, okay. We blood. We do to get draw a card off of the Solemn Dying. And can play the Tome. They're 1 mana shy of animating 2 Havens, but we could just double block and then Garruk would get the counters. We can get the emblem. I think here, since we have the Blood on the Snows, we don't necessarily want to just do the scrying. We'd probably just prefer raw cards. So, I guess we'll see what they play. Could like animate a Haven and then attach a Maul to it to kill Garruk this turn. That'd be one way. How plausible that is. They would have had the top deck. I guess they wouldn't have had to with top deck. They had 1 card last turn. Play Redain, okay. And an Apparition on the Tome. Well, I guess we're scrying. Bottom that. Okay, so we have another Blood in the Snow. So if we play Blood on the Snow, we get a 2/2, so that's going to actually be able to block one of their creatures. We would get 2 tokens for our wolves. Or get 2 tokens from our wolves that we put onto Garruk. I think we just go to combat. Swing, see if we can get 2 damage in. That might just not block. I guess I can block one of them with Redain. And the Blood on the Snow actually gets us back a creature too. It gets us Solemn back from the graveyard. That's a little added plus. Okay, yep, they opt not to block. So then we Blood on the Snow. Get the emblem. Now we can chump their Havens with impunity. Feels good. Feels good. I have another land, so I can animate two things. Just like a double block something. Or we could just Blood on the Snow again. That would be a brutal play, no doubt. Or they just jump one of them. Oh. Didn't pay enough attention. Auto damage is very bad. Play out Ghost Rider. Okay. Take game 2. Game 3 is going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky indeed. It's like I was saying, maybe bring in some of these Blood Chief's Thirst. Maybe take out a Garruk. I don't want to get like run over like I was saying. Another Blood Chief's Thirst. I wonder if they took out their apparitions. I mean, we saw one of them. Just thinking if Sorolf would be good just to get rid of their weak creatures. I think it's too risky though. Okay. One goes first. They took a mulligan. We have a tome and a board wipe that we can almost assure the play on curve and dealt with the tome. Perhaps that's a bit aggressive in phrasing. Okay, we can play it on T4. They don't have a 1-drop. That's good for us. They could have an Aspirant. Okay, they have the Howlblade instead. Sure, but we actually have a 3-drop now that we can kind of deploy well to give us a blocker. Good Apparition here, but what can you do? There are scarier things that they could have done, or they could do on 3 than just taking away my tome. I'll just stop on upkeep though. Yeah, because I'm on the draw, I think we just do want to scry every time. Just in case they are super aggressive. Okay, but they do have a Maul. You're going to be swinging 5 in the air. Much for my plan of blocking. Scry, see what we see. Cultivate, I think we bottom that. We need Forest to even play it, so it's kind of just a dead card right now. We can just tome again. Have to find green source. Blood on the Snow. I think we bottom it. It's not going to deal with their flyer, although I guess we have Extinction Event for that. We're going to get green on T. Well, I guess we won't because we're going to Extinction Event. We can bottom the Snow. We get a Cultivate. Okay. We'll run out the Ghost Rider. Get a token. Put another stop on upkeep and pass. And hold our breath, I guess. Best play for us now would be that they play out an Aspirant, you know, another even creature. We get to exile above their Howlblade and their other even thing. I don't know what their worst case could be. I don't necessarily want to think about it. They Redain. Okay. Actually fairly annoying because it means we can't Extinction Event next turn. And my stuff costs more. Sack the token to the Scry. Redain is very good against me. But that's clutch. Maybe not clutch. I think we take it. The shame Redain isn't a human. So If they have another Redain, we get punished because they could just play it again. We won't be able to cast our Extinction Event. So I guess maybe I should just step back, right? We play Witch's Vengeance and we choose Human. We get the Hollow Blade. They have a 2/3 Vigilance. They don't have necessarily the mana to equip them all onto Redain. They actually missed a land drop, right? So they probably don't. If we kill Gods, if we kill Redain, then we have the possibility of Extinction Eventing away the Hollow Blade, but they could play Redain. They get a second copy. I guess we should scry first to get more information. See what we're gonna get. Another Cultivate. No. Stop. I think we just Witch's Oven or Witch's Vengeance, the Hollow Blade. So we're gonna gain a couple life, hopefully, next turn. They do have a 4th land, so they could equip them all. Make Redain a 4/5. That's their whole turn. Pretty expensive. I'm gonna put a stop on upkeep. They're thinking about doing it, I think. Or maybe thinking about getting rid of the tome, using like an apparition or something. That would play well for us because we could Extinction Event for Odd and get rid of both of their things. If they have, Redain and apparition, be good play for us in that sense. Bad would be like a Legion Angel, that'd be terrible for us. They run out of Hollow Blade. Okay, swing for 2. I'm gonna scry here. Blood on the Snow? No. Not good enough, deck. Not good enough. Another Solemn. Hey. We have to do this. I guess we just hold back to make them have to equip the blade onto Hollow Blade, or the Maul onto Hollow Blade. They get us to 4 or 5, I guess. My lands are going to enter tapped. That's unfortunate. We're going to need, I think, a Bloodchief's Thirst or something, or another Witch's Vengeance to survive here. Oh, it's going to enter tapped. Another Cultivate. Oh my god. I think they got there, huh? 7 flying. Yeah, it's going to do it. I'll give him a good game. Dane is powerful against this deck, no doubt. Big land tax, especially when they're on the play. Nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the games. I know it was a wild ride, and I'll see you next time.